Hey Britt, and for anyone following along, thank you so much for this opportunity to do this interview, and thanks for taking an interest in me. My name is Markus Kaulius. I'm the owner of Magnum Nutraceuticals. I started Magnum Nutraceuticals in 2005, January 2005, with a passion for sports nutrition and a passion for the human body. I love trying to find out what the human body is capable of because we have no idea how much the human body is capable of. So I love bashing it out in the gym, and I love eating right, and I love this lifestyle and all that this lifestyle affords me. Being healthy is the best feeling in the world, and I love bringing people into a healthier life, a happier life. And that's my passion. That's what I do every day here at Magnum, and I love what I do. Something a lot of people don't know about me, I was bullied as a kid, and I've got a real sensitivity for bullying. I'm real sensitive. When I see bullying happening around me, I put a quick stop to it. And I feel very blessed that God's put me in a position of authority, and I'm a taller guy. Maybe I got a little bit of muscle on me now, so it helps when I have to step into a situation and stop a bullying situation. I'm not suggesting I get into fights. I don't fight, but I'm not afraid to step in always for the little guy. Because I was once that little guy, and that sucked. And for people who are taking out their problems on another person, man, you gotta check yourself. You gotta get that right. You will never experience success in life if that's you. And if you're the one being bullied, know that there are brighter days ahead, and you will make out of this life what you decide to make out of it, and you will become exactly who you want to become if you're willing to put in the time and the work. That's what I did. That's what this guy. My very first job, and what did I enjoy about it? I had many jobs. I had a work ethic at a very young age. I remember pulling weeds for 1 cent per weed. That makes for a long day to make $1, I'm telling you. But I also remember having paper routes. And I just loved the concept of making money. And I remember weighing down my bike with unbelievably huge bags of newspapers that I couldn't even lift either of these bags, but I've got 2 of these bags of newspapers on my handlebars, riding down a busy road, and I'm going, this seems really dangerous and stupid, but I did it, and I collected those paychecks, and I look back on all of my jobs with fond memories, just learning work ethic, learning to put in time, and learning that you gotta find something that you love to do. You gotta go through some junky stuff to find something that you actually love. And I love working at Magnum. This is what I was meant to do. So, question of what spurred my interest in fitness in the first place, and I found my way into the gym, praise God, during my bullying phase. I actually don't remember the story, but I feel like I either watched it in a movie or it actually happened that I was chased into a gym one day. Anyway, that's what I picture in my mind, and I saw those weights and I just started lifting them, and they changed everything. And that's my story. When I started lifting, it just changed who I was so fast. Not my physique. My physique is still changing every day, but who I believed I was, and my self-confidence, my self-worth, and the gym is where I found happiness. As a young entrepreneur, what would you say was an obstacle you faced when you founded Magnum, and how did you overcome it? No question, the biggest obstacle in the beginning was finances. There are certain businesses you can start with very little or no money. A sports nutrition company is not one of those businesses. When other people get into it now and they're saying to me, well, what would you recommend as I get started? I always say the first thing, you better be sure you have $1 million in the bank. It took 50 miracles to get Magnum past that 5-year mark. And it's so much work. And being the fact that we were pharmaceutical grade, our purity was off the charts, and we cared about formulas and we cared about everything to be the best. There wasn't a lot of margin in those products. So it's not like I was buying something for $1 and selling it for $3. So yeah, it was a lot of work getting over that. And how did we get through that? Like I said, they were serious miracles. God had one thing after another in mind for this business, and he somehow got us through it. We had cash flow from the stores, so that helped, but that was not the overall answer. I had really good business partners in the beginning. What I mean by that is the people who I was purchasing from, they were good to us, and they saw something in me as being a good future leader, and they were willing to say, okay, you're 30 days overdue, you're 45 days overdue, you're 60 days overdue. We'll allow it, because I would always pick up the phone. If I couldn't pay a bill on time, I was calling that day. I never hide from someone I owe money to. I think that's a really sad thing that a lot of people do, and there's no integrity in that. People make mistakes. People screw up with money. But what people want to hear on the other side of that line is remorse and here's the solution. So I always own up to that. I would always call them, hey, tomorrow is some money due and I don't have it. And I'm so sorry. Here's why I don't have it, and here's when I'll have it, and here's why you don't have to be afraid. I will pay my bills. And I don't want to sound prideful, but at Magnum, I've never bounced a check. It's something I take very seriously. When I owe money to somebody, they get paid. And that's something I've always believed in, and I always will. And to me, that's part of integrity. What advice would I give to young entrepreneurs working through some adversities or just getting started? Number one, don't spend any money. That's the toughest thing, I think, for entrepreneurs, and it's in my opinion, it's the number one reason why 75% of small businesses go out of business in the first 5 years. And another 75% of that in the next 5 years, because the owner wants to spend money. You're gonna be tight on money for a long time, and when you first get a taste of that money, oh, I deserve a Range Rover. I've been working so hard and I want to show off to all my friends that all my work was worth it and I'm so successful and I need this, I deserve this. You deserve nothing. You deserve nothing. Don't spend any money. What you'll get is an amazing business in the future if you don't spend money. You have to watch for every dollar, and every dollar you think is extra in the company, it's not. You're gonna need it. One story that I was asked about recently, one of the toughest adversities at Magnum. So first of all, along with my first point, I didn't take a salary at Magnum for 5 years. 5 years of not taking a salary, because I knew where it had to be. I knew the money that had to be in there for us to grow to where I wanted it to be, the company I wanted it to be, the company we're today, and where I still want to see it in 10 years from now. I had to leave that money in to let it grow, let it compound, let it build the business. So for 5 years, and I don't want you thinking, oh, well, what were you doing, like 50 grand in sales? We were over $2.5 million, and I still didn't take a salary. $2.5 million coming in, and I said, no, I don't need a Range Rover. So it's really important. Now, the adversity I was telling you about, we once had a product that was a phenomenal launch. It was Magnum Opus. It was a phenomenal launch. So strong, in fact, we way underestimated how good it was going to be. And there was a certain website, who I won't mention, who was selling more than 1,000 units every single week. And it was insane how much they were going through, and week after week after week. So we placed another order, and we knew we were going to be back ordered for a little bit because we didn't place that order fast enough. They went through so much product so fast, and so did everyone else. Exciting problem to have. Then, as we were getting closer to the time that we were about to go back order, and they're still selling it like crazy, we placed another order behind the second order, plus we wanted to come out with a second flavor anyway, so let's do 2 orders of the new flavor too. Because of the back order, that website changed something in their algorithms, and the sales went to zero. To zero. They just changed their algorithms. Had nothing to do with Magnum. And unfortunately, all of a sudden I had $1.6 or $1.8 million in Opus just sitting there. Sure, other people were selling it, but not at that freaking crazy rate. So each month, maybe we were selling 40 grand or 50 grand worth of Opus at the time. So when you got 1.8 million, that's a lot of Opus. So that was another 2 years out of my life that I had to stop taking a salary. That was hard. That was harder than the first 5 years of not taking a salary. It was 2 years, and every bill that was due in those 2 years, I'm so sorry. We're doing great. We're growing. Everything's awesome. I just have almost $2 million of one product in the back, and I can't pay my bill on time. I'm so sorry. So there's humbling experiences, and you don't want to get too cocky, and you don't want to get ahead of yourself, and just keep praying, try and stay calm, try and manage your stress. These are very important things. If you're not exercising, you're going to be in big trouble, because I don't know how you're going to manage your stress. And if it's alcohol or drugs, that is about the worst way you can possibly manage your stress. So get on the treadmill, get those weights in your hand, and get yourself feeling good, and get some exercise. Next question is, what would I say inspires my work ethic the most? And this is a phenomenal question. Work ethic is something really important to me, and I've always wanted to be known as a guy with a good work ethic, who's very passionate about what he does. Those are the two things that I'd like people to say about me. Oh, maybe integrity. Maybe the word integrity would be a good word to use about me too, I would hope. But what inspires my work ethic? There's a few things. One, I really hated being poor. I disliked the disadvantages of being poor. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that I was poor, because that's given me the work ethic. That's given me that hunger inside of me to work harder to make sure I will never be poor again, and to make sure my kids never have to experience those things that I experienced. But that really drives me. I love working hard for that reason. And I love leading this team. I love being someone that people can look at and go, that guy works his butt off, and I'm going to do the same. And if he's doing it at the head of that company, I'm going to do it inside this company. And I'm going to do everything I can to be like that. And that's a big driving factor for me. I love being known for that. When you come up with a new business product idea, what's your thought process in order to get that idea off the ground? Would you say that sometimes taking big risks are necessary? I wouldn't say taking big risks are necessary. Taking calculated risks are necessary. First and foremost, you've got to study the crap out of your situation. Find out the viability of a product. Now, not to be, do not fall into paralysis by analysis. It's a very serious thing where people want to analyze, and all of a sudden 6 months goes by. Someone else might have come up with that same idea and already hit the market because you were sitting there still analyzing. But you can work 24/7. You can work around the clock, read books around the clock to learn about what you're about to do, what you're thinking of investing your time and money into, and decide if that's the right move. Decide if that's what you should be doing, so it's not a big risk. And yeah, when you're starting a new venture, it's really important to find that out. And I'd refrain from just asking friends. There's such an idea, a stigma out there that being an entrepreneur is awesome. Oh, and everybody should own their own business, and everybody should be working their butt off for themselves. But there's a reason, again, why 75% of businesses go out of business in the first 5 years. Your friends will most likely be like, oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's such a great idea, because they're scared of hurting your feelings. And everybody these days is so freaking politically correct. Everyone's so afraid of offending someone. I'm not afraid to tell people, maybe you should spend a bit more time on that idea. Maybe you should do a bit more research. Here's a few ways to research that to make sure before you spend any money. Do you guys watch Dragon's Den or Shark Tank? I'm assuming you do if you're watching this video, because this is about entrepreneurship. I love watching those, and I go, wow, what was that person thinking starting that business? What were you thinking? But the good ideas, it's like, oh my goodness, how did no one think of that before? It's such a phenomenal idea. It's not a phenomenal idea because they're going on there and they've got $1 million in sales. It's a phenomenal idea because it's a phenomenal idea. And the bad ideas are a bad idea because they're a bad idea. So do your research and don't just start a business because you want to start a business. Next question is about balance in life. Yes, Magnum keeps me very busy, but you absolutely have to have balance in life. You have to balance that with good family time. And when I mean good family time, it's not just punching in the clock. You need to show up and actually be there. You need to commit to your family. You need to show them that love every single day. Just going and working hard, that's the old school mentality. Men, we can't just come home and go, well, I showed you my love by working super hard at work. Yeah, that's a bit of it. That's not all of it. And how did that work out for all the relationships out there between dads and daughters and sons and dads and husband and wives? There's a reason why there's a 51% divorce rate. You have to come home and be intentional. Intentional with your children. Intentional with your spouse. That's big on balance. The other part of this question is about balance, what keeps me grounded. I haven't found it yet. I like to also spend a lot of time at my church. I recently got asked to be head usher at our church. That's really cool that I'm working with the hospitality team on Sunday. And that's awesome. I love spending time with the community kitchen there. The community kitchen feeds so many meals to people in our community who are just having a tough time in life right now. It's not just the homeless. There's lots of homeless, yes, but there's lots of people who are just out of work, who are struggling to get by. And the community kitchen says, we've got you, man. And they need someone there. They need more people there who are just serving meals, who are just cleaning up, and who are just there to lend an ear to say, I'm listening and I care. And I think those are really important things to have in your life and to remind you what success is. Success is not just money. Success is not just what kind of a fancy car do you drive and what kind of a fancy house do you live in and tell me about your fancy friends. Those are the things that really balance you, and spending time in that kind of environment, spending time in that kind of a community will remind you what's going on around you. And it's not all about focusing on me. And the more I give, the more I find I receive. And I like better the person that I am there than I do that I did when I was more focused on money, when I was more focused on the things of this world. So get some balance. What sets Magnum apart? Magnum, we care more. At Magnum, we care more about health, fitness. We care more about the human body. We care more about our clients' bodies. We care more about our clients' health. We want to see people live the healthiest, happiest life they can. And the way we can do that is by making sure our science is spectacular, to be looking up every single scientific article on every single ingredient we're gonna use, by using pharmaceutical grade ingredients right across the board, by using the purest, most bioavailable ingredients we can find to make sure our clients are gonna get the best freaking results, are gonna be blown away by their results. So it's gonna change their lives. It's gonna make a bigger impact. And they are gonna say, wow, there's something different about Magnum. And then we followed up with service. And what that means to you as a client is that we want to make sure you're getting the results you need to get. We put out newsletters with great information, great tips. We put on contests all the time. We put on a 60-day challenge a few times a year. And if you don't know about these things, you got to sign up for our newsletter. You'll hear all about it. You'll see the support we offer. We have amazing trainers. We have amazing athletes in every community out there helping people understand how to live healthier lives, how to have this part of your lifestyle. So it's not just getting ready for a contest and then letting loose like crazy. This is a lifestyle you need to live 24/7. 52 weeks per year. This is who we are at Magnum. We love what we do, and we just want to share it with the world. We want to make sure everybody is being healthier, happier. We know we can lower the divorce rate by making happier people who are more sexually active with their spouses, who have more energy when they get home at night to spend with their children, to spend with their spouses, to show that love, to live with some passion in their lives. And that's Magnum. Final question is, self-doubt tends to be a common obstacle for young entrepreneurs. What advice can you give young entrepreneurs in 2017 who want to build a business but are not quite sure their ideas are good enough? Number one, if you're going to be starting your own business, you've got to be passionate about it. I mean, really passionate about it. Like, I can't live without this business. That's passion. If you don't have that, you are going to struggle. The statistics are against you. Like I've said, 75% of businesses are going out of business in the first 5 years. Why? Because someone goes, I think that's a pretty good idea. Sure, I'll put all my life savings and all of my hours into that. You gotta be passionate about what you're doing, so those hours aren't counted. I don't count the hours I work. I freaking love coming to work. I got here so early this morning, and I'm gonna be the last one to leave tonight, and I freaking love that. Why? Because I love what I do. I love working in this business. I'll spend extra hours in this business because I freaking love it. I love the people I deal with. I love what I'm doing. I love having my hands in Magnum. I love everything Magnum stands for and everything that we do. You have to have passion or you will fail. So that would be my suggestion to you. And if you have that passion, I truly believe you're gonna go, I can't fail. I can't fail. I'm so freaking passionate about this. I will figure out a way to make that a business. And for all you young entrepreneurs working hard this year, starting your new business, good luck to you guys. And I hope anything I can do to help, I've done. And I hope you guys tune into my Facebook Lives because it'll get you fired up. I always give tips to my young entrepreneurial friends because I love seeing people succeed in their entrepreneurial endeavors. And thank you again so much for the support, everybody. God bless you. Be well.